This is the last day of November, which means tomorrow is the first day of December as our crowd builds here. Insane. And I got to tell you, you guys blew it up in November. It's totally not like normal for November to be so strong. I'm seeing some signs of lightning. We'll jump on that in a minute. And I read an article last night. We're going from white hot to red hot. So it's just incredible what's still going on out there. It's also incredible that I put my heater on in my house because I'm freezing. And it's 62 degrees out. Okay. Well, I guess everybody else is still in bed and freezing too. All right. We got Kathleen. Wait for Ashley to turn on her camera. We got enough to get going. I'm going to share my screen. Bam. All right. All hands on deck. We're not quite all hands right now, but thank you for the hands that are on deck. Month of December brings a few less transactions to most real estate markets. However, the number of transactions is not diminished as quickly as the number of agents who are working to do them. Keep your energy and your effort at a high level and good things will happen in December. Hopefully these things exist. That's our topic for today. And it's really important because I'm going to presume that you guys have a desire to earn a consistent amount of money, right? And the challenge is if we take the eye off the ball right now, then you're going to have a very, very tumultuous January to February. Like you're going to start all over again. So now is the time, and it's a perfect time. And I encourage you to go back to watch Jeff and Mike's class, which we'll talk more about in a little bit too, yesterday. This is the time to be generating your leads and asking questions of the people that you know who know you, like you, and trust you. Because when they are ready, they're going to remember you. So this is the time to reach out. It's holiday season. It's not vacation time. It's holiday season. It's time to reach out and say, hi, what's going on? And ask some of these questions. I'm going to ask Puma to show us something in a minute too. That'll work. All right. Number one, impossible is just an opinion. Is it not? I'm reading a book right now called The Biology of Belief. And it's talking about really, really deep biology stuff, which is kind of weird. But they were talking about how the world was flat and how everybody knew that everything revolved around the earth. And that was just 100% true until it wasn't. So what else is true that is not really true? Or are you living to be true? Interesting. Why live an ordinary life when you can live in extraordinary ones? That's a Tony Robbins statement. Our results are never going to be bigger than our thoughts. Change your thoughts and change your results. I was listening to Grant Cardone last night. He says, it's not that you're not doing enough deals. You're not doing big enough deals, right? What are you listening to? What are you talking to? What are you feeding your mind with? Number four, the difference between school and life. In school, you're taught a lesson and then given a test. In life, you're given a test that teaches you a lesson. I thought that was kind of cool too. And number five, good things never come from comfort zones. If we would like to be more successful, we must get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yep. Let's have a great, productive, positive, and enjoyable December, which is what we're going to jump into now. First, I want to give you a status of the company. Our listings are up to 125. Remember, we were at 98, 99, and they're just going. So we're up to 125. I think that's a good thing. That gives us more signs in the marketplace. It's more calls. November, 69 listings is all we took. That's tough. Congratulations on taking 69 listings in a tough listing market. 33 of those are already sold. So that's just in the first month, right? So we're talking about a 1 to 2 month supply of homes. A third of our listings were sold in the month they were taken. November sales, 142 for 1.679 million. That used to be a really good month last year. Now it's one of our worst months, but it's not over yet either. So we're probably going to 1.819, possibly 2. Absolutely incredible for November, 142 sales. And that's, they still got to be turned in from the weekends. Closings, we're already at 147 closings for $1.4 million in commissions, which makes it a good month. But we've got 91 more closings scheduled for today. 30 of those are past closings. So 60 more scheduled for today. That's a lot of work on a lot of people. And it's probably not all going to happen, but there's another $1 million in commission pending there. So potentially it could be a $2.4 million month, which is just, I sound like a broken record. It's just amazing. So congratulations. At least 30 are past close. Guys, I have closings on the books from October. We have closings in the book for October. You guys need to turn in your files, get them canceled or get them extended, please. I know Angelique harps you, but you got to check your email. All right, Chris, so we have some Paramount Title guests in the room.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Are you guys functioning in your new spaces now?
We are. We're all set up and for the most part. So if you need us, come visit us. But so a quick word from us. If you are a new agent and you don't know much about Paramount Title, I'd love to get with you to do a one-on-one. So my phone number is out. If you guys need it, we'll put it in the chat. Just give me a call and we can set that up. And managers, if you guys have new agents, just send me a quick email so that way I can get in touch with them. And then I'm going to pass it to India.
Good morning, I'm India Miracle. I'm a closer with Paramount Title.
Wait, say your name again because people don't believe it.
Yes. I just wanted to talk about the importance of the affiliated business arrangement disclosure coming over with the contract. We are having a lot of contracts come over recently where Chris is having to reach out to Sam to get these. It's so important that when the contracts are being submitted, they're submitted with this form because we cannot open your file until we have this document in place. So that's very important for everyone to know.
We'll talk about why we have to have that if you don't mind.
The affiliated business arrangement disclosure, we have to have that because it discloses to the client that we are affiliated with Century 21, and that has to be disclosed up front to all clients.
It's the Real Estate Settlement and Procedures Act. It's absolute law. And it's a nationwide law that is punishable by major offenses. So we're not going to do anything with those forms. So they have to be turned in. And if you're using .loop properly, it's already in the loop as a required form. So when you submit your file for review, the affiliated business disclosure should be in there. So if you're not doing that, ask somebody to show you how, because there really should be no reason to ever have a form turned in without the ABA.
And then the other thing we just want to touch on again is the rushes. We want to rush, we want to close, but we are being told by our lien search department that they are now on a 10+ day with no option to rush. So we just want everyone to keep that in mind. The survey companies are behind also. So, you know, they're getting a rush and then they're getting another rush and it just puts them further behind. We're doing our very best to get it closed as quickly as possible, but just something to keep in mind.
And talk about that too, because it's not just us, guys. The whole industry is backed up. I talked about car dealerships last week because I got a friend who's a car dealer. Surveyor, my neighbor across the street is Geotech Surveying. They are so far. I asked him for a flood elevation. I probably can get to the next month and a half, was what he told me, just to get a flood elevation certificate. So just understand that's going on out there. We have to be diligent. So a 10-day closing is not too much to ask. So good stuff, sharing the pain of the industry and the joys of it. Cool. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start with Puma. Puma, would you share the post you put up yesterday and the results, and then share the email that, was it Donna who sent you an email this morning? So the idea is I want every manager on the call to go through and give you guys one thing they think they would do or they think you should do to make sure you get paper deals on the books this month while the holidays are around.
Yeah, I mean, the post was simple. I'm sure a lot of you saw it. I'll show my screen real quick so you can see it. It was pretty simple. So legitimately, I did 2 posts. So I did this post when my screen calms down. So I did that post right there.
Wanted, yeah.
And basically in the copy of that post, I did the script that we discussed in the morning meeting, which was, folks, I have a buyer who wants to buy multiple homes in Florida before the end of the year. They only buy though when they have a renter who wants to rent back the home. Can you please Comment below and tag anyone you know who is renting or who may want to rent a single family home and even have the option to buy if they want. My client will buy nearly any home on the market as long as they have a renter ready to move in. Message me if you have any questions. So I made that post. And then I also did a story, which was very similar, and just asked how much they were paying in rent. And so I had a bunch of people reply with what they're paying in rent. And so we're having conversations. But the biggest one was I had a buddy who actually his kid plays up in Spring Hill area, plays baseball. So that's how we know each other. But he messaged me out of nowhere and said, hey, saw the post. I'm actually thinking about selling my current house, renting for a little bit while I look for a larger property that I can build something on. Can you help me with do all of that? Right, from one post. So the answer is yes, which will end up equaling 3 deals as a result of one post that took 5 minutes and was free. Right. And so then, obviously as agents, we encourage you to do the same. And Jeff had forwarded me an email last night from one of our agents who had shared their success. And she had said, I posted about Divvy on my social media today, and within 20 minutes, 4 of my friends reached out. I'm also signed up for the webinar on Monday. Thank you so much. I love these meetings. I learned something from every session. So obviously, guys, this works, right? I think we all know that, but you have to do something. You have to take action. And when you do, good things happen. And, worst case scenario, this is what I always play out in my head. What if it doesn't work? Okay, then you're at the exact same spot you were right now, but you're creating the opportunity that it could work, right? And that's all we're asking for. So just take action.
Yep. And that made me think of something. A lot of people that I talk to say, Craig, when is this market going to stop? We've got so much equity in our house now. I want to sell at the top of the market. Divvy is a great solution for that too. If they don't have, not super expensive house, you could sell your house now, get your equity out tax-free, and then go rent someplace else for a while. And then wait and see what happens. If the house goes up in value, buy it. If it doesn't, walk away from it. But you pulled your tax-free equity out right now. How much equity? I mean, you got Remind as a tool for you. How many people have equity in their house and haven't thought about it, are afraid to move out? Because I don't want to go rent someplace. There's nothing to rent. Yeah, there is plenty to rent. We'll go buy something for you to rent. It's a beautiful strategy. So when somebody asks you, should I get out now? Say, have you thought about this? What if you cashed out now, got your equity, and then go rent something for a while?
Well, and one more thing I want to throw out there. When you make these types of posts, the algorithm on Facebook is ridiculously powerful. So I made that post. Within 30 minutes of making that post, all of a sudden I get a post in my news feed from someone who posted in a group within Wesley Chapel that I am not a member of, but that group post was in my feed that said, hey, that was about someone looking to rent and possibly rent to own in Wesley Chapel, that randomly popped up in my feed from someone I do not know, complete stranger in a group that I am not a member of. But the algorithm picked up that I used the words rent, own, that I was in Wesley Chapel, and all of a sudden it's delivering a post because it believes that I might be able to provide value, in which case I could. So I messaged that individual and said, hey, if you need any help, I've got a pretty unique rental program. She replied back, hey, my husband would be the decision maker. I had a long conversation with him. And guess what? Now he's getting approved through Home Partners and Divvy so that he has options. And we're going to be looking in Seven Oaks up here. And literally, that was just another deal that'll come in the pipeline from something that just because I made the post, I had no idea who this individual was, but Facebook's algorithm is going to do the work. But again, if you have to create the opportunity.
Fascinating. Okay, so Chris, what's your idea?
For me, I would take this time right now, use it as an opportunity to reach back out to every one of my past clients who I've ever sold anything to at any point, whether it was this year or the year before, and I would be getting reviews from them. So I would check all my Real Satisfied. If they didn't have a Real Satisfied, if I can resend the invitation for that, I'd resend it. If I can't, I'm going to go on Zillow and I'm going to send them a link from Zillow to give me a review on Zillow. If they've already done a Real Satisfied, I'm going to copy and paste that in an email and send it to them in an email, asking them to please follow this. I've already taken the liberty to copy and paste the testimonial from our transaction. If you can please fill this out on Zillow, I greatly appreciate it. And then I would ask them for ask them for business, ask them how I can help. Who do you know that I might be able to help? So I'd use this opportunity to do that and create some good conversations, get something worth value for me out of it, provide some value to them by, telling them I'd love to help a certain amount of families by the end of the year next year.
Perfect. Kalani chatted in. It was a great post, especially with the tight rental market right now. I picked up 2 new leads yesterday from it, working with Divvy and Home Partners of America. I just powerful. Joe Diener, shed some wisdom our way. And Chris, can you let Crystal in?
Good morning, Craig. How are you?
Good.
I sent a couple of things out to my past clients actually the week before Thanksgiving, trying to drum up some business for obviously December, because I got to push for Centurion, and also building my funnel for the spring. And it worked around top home improvements for homeowners and where the market was, and the increase in home values from October to October in Hillsborough County. And I got 3 replies for people putting their houses on the market. So that worked.
That worked.
That worked. So, and yes, Jeff and Mike's meeting yesterday was awesome. So I wanted to plug that. Okay.
Jeff, Crystal just joined us. Why don't you give her an introduction?
Hi.
Too many
Well, there you go.
microphones.
I had a couple things going on here. So how about that for an introduction, Crystal? So Crystal is new to our management team, and I'm excited to have her come with us. As you guys know, we have a great group, a growing group from outside of our physical area in Tampa Bay, and a big growing presence in Orlando and Central Florida area. And Crystal Washington Booth, I'm using all 3 names from now on, is going to join us as a management. She's going to be working with our BE3 organization on the agents that are outside of our Tampa Bay area, namely in the Orlando. So she's got, what I love about Crystal is that she has not been in this business for a very long time. She's been in business just over a year, but she's been able to crush it during that time period and really earn the business and learn and grow and fail and fall and conquer and overcome and get so many different sources of business to work, and the ability to network and to grow and to kind of learn. And she's interviewed in different brokerages. She knows what's out there. She's been kind of stalking us from the background for a couple of months to make sure she liked what we were doing. Attract and repel strategy we talk about all the time. So I'm very honored that she is with us, and I'm very proud to have you as part of the team. So you'll be seeing a lot more from Crystal.
Very nice. Yeah, she stalked us like the last 30 days and still likes what we do. So I guess she's going to fit in around here. Cool. Kathleen.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Actually, Chris, Mike, and Joe are spot on. They do exactly what I would be doing and more. It's making the contacts with your past clients. I just picked up 2 listings. One goes live tomorrow by being the queen of phone calls. I'm one of those. I love to talk to people on the phone. So make past contacts with your past clients and make them your future contacts by talking to them.
That's pretty much simple. That's it. Ashley, I think I know what you might say, but let's give it a try.
OGR? Just kidding. No, actually, I was thinking business contacts. So, the relationships you create are so very important. I was previously a property manager, so I've still got a great relationship with my former boss, and making sure that, the higher priced rentals that they've got right now are great resources, and they're the people that can recommend you to their people that the lease is coming up. I can't find my words today. Good morning. No coffee. So yeah, I would definitely reach back out to business contacts. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say to call the past clients and see if they know anybody moving anywhere out of state that you could help them get generate a referral anywhere in the world.
See, that's so much better than what I was going to say, but, but no, I was thinking business contacts, you know.
I like it. It all works, guys. Just all these ideas. Thomas?
Good morning, team. This is the season of holidays, so it's an easy way to go ahead and call past clients, wishing their family a happy holiday, and from there, talking about the market, talking about things about the equity that they may have in their home. If they don't know, you can set up a time to do a home evaluation and then take it from there. A lot of us are talking about past clients, but for some of the agents that are brand new, this is a great time to go into Remind and find out exactly how much equity is in the home. Also, you can go RSP Pro and you can look at a farm, get those addresses, plug them in 411, and then call those individuals to see if you can set up an appointment as well.
I like it. Crystal, how about you? You bring this new expertise to the group.
Well, one of the things that I'm doing existing clients is, and I'm at the point now where I'm getting people that are just hitting 1 year that I've closed business with. I started sending out Thanksgiving messages to everyone, and I'm actually, to give them the personal touch, we do a family greeting card, my daughter and I. And so I'm sending them one of my personal greeting cards and writing a note on it, you know, so they think that they're a part of my family. One of the other pieces, piggybacking, I have a call with Mike later this morning. For the agents here in Orlando, I really would like to see, I don't think it's too late for us to do some type of food drive. And so if something has not happened, that you've not touched your clients, find a central point where that would be another touch point so that agents here can reach out to their clients and see that we're giving back to the community. So that is on my to-do list by Friday, is to try and identify a spot so that we can make something happen just to generate some interest and volume in this market.
Chris, you want to comment on your food drive efforts by this Friday, I think, right?
The food drive we have until December 13th. So we chose a local elementary school that has 99% of the children on free lunch programs and assistance, and the 1% that aren't are children of the staff. So it's definitely something that's needed all around, and it's an elementary school. So these kids don't have any idea why they're hungry or why they don't have certain things. So we chose that, and we've been raising food, and we've had a couple different organizations reach out directly to our agents who have posted online about the food drive. Like Meet Me in the Streets Ministry just brought over a whole table and boxes full of donations for the food drive. So it's a great way to get in the community. Crystal, I love that idea. Giving back definitely puts you in a different light, especially when you don't even have to ask for business. They just start seeing you in a different light, and they start respecting what you're doing, and they get engagement and involved with what you're doing. And then they know who you are. We're going to have the company name out there because we want it to benefit everybody in the community, and we want to be a part of it. So yeah, by December 13th, if you're in the Hillsborough area, you can bring some canned goods or boxed goods, non-perishable items to the Apollo Beach office or the Sun City office. I prefer to have them here by the 12th at the end of the day, because we have to take them over first thing on the 13th in the morning. So please drop something off, and I'll be grateful for that, and I'll be happy to get it over to them.
And while we're on that giving thing, did Joe or Otis, you want to talk about what South Tampa's doing?
Yeah, we have sponsored another family, and this family's whenever Scott finds a family to sponsor, generally they're in a kind of a dire situation. And so and one of the kids, has cancer. We don't know if it's terminal or not, but it hurts financially across the board for the family. So what we do is we give them the holiday that they can't normally provide for themselves, because they're so stretched with just what's life, the hand that life is dealt to them at the moment. So with that, we can turn the emails that we're getting, we can push them out and broadcast that to the whole company if anyone else wants to be a part of that. There is a wish list of what the kids want as far as presents and so forth. So it's kind of like a Secret Santa thing too. And so if anyone wants to be a part of that, there's a lot of cool things that we as a company can can create as far as a highway for giving back, philanthropy, whatever the case may be.
Well, this is a single mom with 5 children.
Mhm.
And she's living with her mom in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath duplex. And a Buccaneer player actually bought them a 36-foot RV, which is going to have more room for that family to live in than the duplex they're living in now. And the mom's spending nearly every waking moment she can in the hospital with her son. There's a picture of him, and it's just the saddest thing you've ever seen in your life. So that type of stuff is, I'm not trying to make it business-like, but it's good to give back. Many of us are very fortunate. So I think we could share that. Who did I skip?
Me. And I would do everything that every single person said.
Yeah.
No, one thing I do this every year. In December, I crank up the contacts. I really try to call as many people, and not to take their time away from them, but just check in on them, wish them a happy holiday, and I'm sincere about it too. That's one of the things. Like when you crank up the contacts, people can sniff out if you're making a sales call sometimes. For me, it's truly about just checking in, touching base, and then from there, sometimes just in conversation, good things come up. And then also, you'll start seeing me. I've been kind of quiet on social media, but you'll start seeing me promote the charities that we've got going. So that way we can push it out there. And there's a lot of people out there that do want to help, and they're looking for a cause to be a part of. And so those charities attached to Century 21 that we do, it does make a difference in the community. But I would without a doubt, I'm on the same page as Kathleen. I turn it up and really call as many people as I can. Past clients, sphere, family, someone that I just come across on Facebook that I haven't spoke with in a while. I just contacted a guy, haven't spoken with him in over 10 years. And man, it was such a fruitful conversation. And he's still got a pretty good sphere here in Tampa, but he doesn't live in Tampa anymore. And he's got someone that he wants me to talk to that wants to sell their house. So, I just turn up the contacts, contact sport. The more people you contact, better off you are.
Oh, so Jeff, you go, then I'll go.
All right. So I like what Crystal was talking about sending the personalized greeting cards. I would add one thing to that I know we've talked about this before, is take the extra 2 minutes and stalk them on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, and find out what they've been up to. So when you're writing that message saying, hey, I hope you have a great holiday. It looks like you had a wonderful trip to North Carolina. Man, those kids sure are cute. You can't believe how big they're getting. Love, Crystal, right? What did that take? An extra minute to actually be engaged in their life? And for past clients and your sphere, that's just an extra step. Will take you a couple minutes, but it's worth it on that one. And then the other thing from a growing my business perspective would be, I personally would just grow my sphere of rich people, because if this is put my business hat on, that's what I would do. How would I find rich people? Well, I would classify rich people as people who have extra houses. Would that be a fair definition?
Are you calling them absentee owners? I just haven't heard that word
I'm
yet.
not even going to use those words. I'm just going to say, if you've got an extra home, you rich, right? So I want to know you. And I would actually send something to them and say, listen, here's my contact. If you ever thought you've got higher equity you've ever had in your life, if you ever thought about just tapping into that one, reach out to me. I've got a great home equity line person that might be able to help you. If you've ever thought about investing in anything else, I've got a 1031 intermediary that can help you. Here's a link to a couple of the new investment projects that we have, right? I'm not going to just say sell your house, because maybe you shouldn't sell your house, but you should deploy that capital into other investments and make yourself even richer, right? Because you obviously know what you're doing. So I would actually become the advisor and reach out to people with extra houses and say, how can I help you leverage the asset that you did nothing for, right? You owned a piece of real estate that just went up in value. Might as well leverage that money and put it into something else or another one and make that one go too. Let me show you what's going on in the marketplace. Let me help you get another investment property using the money that you have in your property to get another one. They might say, no, maybe it's time to liquidate. Great. Or, hey, maybe it's time to add on. So rather than say, hey, do you want to sell and ask yourself for a no, give them other options as far as how can you leverage this brilliant financial transaction that you made years ago and leverage it into more, right? So either way, I just want to become the trusted advisor to a bunch of rich people. That's what I would do with my extra time.
I like it. Well, I'm not very social, but I think talking on the phone is definitely what I would do. And I've got enough talking points because I do these meetings with you guys all the time. any way the conversation turns, I can turn it into something real estate related. Right? I love the equity idea. I love the Robert Kiyosaki story when he wants to buy a Ferrari and his wife said, well, what are you going to pay? What are you going to buy to pay for it? Right? You know, I bought a house in Riverview. My payment's $1,200 a month. I can rent it for $2,200 a month. I make $1,000 a month. That'll pay for a car for me. Right? And where did I get the equity from? The house I'm sitting in. It's the same story, right? Just turn that around and talk. Get people thinking about doing things like that. And say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. And that's what I would do. So guys, that's it. That's it. We just don't want you to sit around and just go Christmas shopping on Amazon all day long. All right, let's stay engaged in December. Whether it puts money in your pocket in December or not doesn't really matter, but let's make sure you're flush in January. All right, cool. Thank you, managers. Did I skip anybody? I don't think I did. Okay, back to the agenda. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm just going to talk about these things at Q4. It's almost done. Seller's checklist. You know, insurance is a challenge. I don't want to kick the problem down the road, right? Let's find out if you've got a listing, get insurance quotes on it, make sure the roof is new enough, make sure the water heater is new enough, make sure all that stuff that's going to kick out a high insurance quote is addressed, because a buyer is going to figure it out at some point. Flood. If you're in a flood hazard area, you got to get in front of this and check out what a third-party flood insurance company is going to be, because they're going to be expensive for some of the lower lying houses, and the buyer is going to figure that out. And you got a 20-day cancellation clause for flood insurance. So get that figured out. And I gave you a flood company, or you could go to neptuneflood.com, just put in the address, it'll give you a quote. It's that simple. And then if you want to get a flood elevation certificate, they'll review it closer. Get the current title policy, get the current survey, because the contract says you should have it. And my advice is, you know, let the people know what they're moving into. Is a fun, happy-go-lucky HOA, or is it a nasty condo association that makes you wear a t-shirt in the lobby? You know, that's part of the deal. So those are my 4 points for a seller's checklist. And then this medium is a message I think is really, really important. You know, we've done a great job putting the content in the Next Level Resource Center. It's attractive, it's good looking. We capitalize on the bulletproof listing process. And then we turned into a pre-listing package that's already there for the grabbing for you. You don't have to do anything to it unless you want to shorten it, right? And they're all done in Moxie Work and has been put in .loop. Then we've got the new programs with Moxie Present and Moxie Impress, which I don't see Jimmy on the call today, but I was gonna ask him the engagement it is like. You know, there's 260, 270 of you that are actively engaged and earning a living in the business right now, but only like 93 people have actually tried to get into Moxie Work so far.
I'm here, Craig.
Oh, you are here.
Hi.
You're hiding from me. What's our engagement like on Moxie Work right now?
I mean, we have total presentations about 400 that we've made since we started in October. And I'll tell you that at least for November, it's pretty much the same amount of presentations that people have gone in and actually made compared to October. But we started at the end of October, the 22nd. So to me, usage is definitely a little bit lighter. You know, some of the better offices, Sarasota has about a 42% usage out of the agents in that office, but we have, it's a huge range of, I mean, obviously not that many people have used it. It's about 120 people, basically everybody that's on this call that has got in and tried to play around with it. So would highly recommend to go back to look at some of those trainings. And there's also a buyer presentation that we're in the works on, but there is something up there for you. So, you know, one of the things I would do for this, you know, for right now, if I was to be, you know, trying to crank out some more business, would be using Moxie and sending specific videos to my past clients and my pipeline that I have right now. But send them something that is professional looking and looks sexy, because that pipeline is what's going to give you business down the line. So using the tools that we've already have in place for you that are basically done except for the video that you have to make is a no-brainer for me.
I agree. That's number 4 on my list. Consider a Moxie Work buyer intro package. Includes the video of yourself. Hey, this is Craig Beggins. We just spoke on the phone. I'm really excited about helping you find your perfect dream home.
Yeah.
You know, And that could be something as simple as that, put a face with the name, it's stickiness. That's what we're learning, the stickiness. If you can keep them on the phone call for 3 to 5 or 6 minutes is a sweet spot. And set an appointment, they're likely to keep that appointment. I'm talking about when you're dealing with the strangers, the public, not your sphere of influence, strange people that you don't know already. You need to make an impression on them, and the medium is the message. So get a nice buyer package, talk about single agency. It's all built for you in there. So I'm sure we'll touch again one of these days.
And I do not have an answer on when Moxie Engage Moxie websites will be out yet. So I did have a awesome training last week, but no answer on the date yet. So just be prepared and patient, everybody, please.
It's coming. It's coming.
When that comes out, we're talking about trying to do like a company competition and do it based on percentage of use in each office. So Jimmy and I were talking about putting something out, like challenging every office to this, maybe to kick off the new year. The amount of presentations done by percentage of agents in an office sent to and delivered to clients, and then counting them up at the end of 30 days to see how many were done in each office and what the percentages of the office, and doing something for that office, like a little luncheon or something like that, just to try and get some more engagement and get you guys reaching out to your clients with some of the platforms that we have.
I like it. Okay. Share screen again. All right. Zillow FSBO update. I just love reading this stuff. They're such an easy target. So this is Zillow's market report. FSBOs are a small but relatively consistent share of total listings. 5.7% of people are for sale by owners. But nationwide, that's 62,000. And then it goes on to say there's most of the lower income households that are using for sale by owners. And I don't mean to sound silly when I say this, but that's because they're not as educated, right? The more educated people, the higher income people use a real estate agent more often. I think this is great stats for Zillow to put up there. Let me go back to my thing here. I like this one better anyway. Oh, this was just fun. The Bowtie Economist. This is a guy who did a great presentation for Stellar MLS, and it was really good. I shared it with all the managers. But he puts out these little things on Fridays. The Friday File. In 2008, the United States Postal Service and UPS each delivered about 3.5 billion packages in the US, while FedEx delivered almost 2 billion packages, a total of almost 9 billion packages, or 30 packages per person. That was 2008. Now in 2020, USPS, United States Postal Service, delivered slightly more than 7 billion. 7 billion. 5.5 billion for UPS. Amazon jumped in the game with 4 billion deliveries and quickly rising, and FedEx about 3 billion, a total of 20 billion packages, or 61 packages per person, or roughly the equivalent of every person in the United States sending out one package a week. Is that incredible? I just thought it was interesting. Not relevant to real estate, but nevertheless. Jumping around the training recaps, I just think, in case you missed it, ICNY, we did a really nice interview with my daughter Jessica last Monday. It's just, they're out there for you, and just to make it really easy for you to go look at, right? And then it tells you what's coming up. So it's an effort. The recordings or the trainings are recorded, then they're uploaded, then they're edited, and then they're posted. And sometimes they're not there all the way, but if you ever get a chance, you want to see what's going on, check it out. And Chris and I did single agency with pricing strategies. That's another one on my agenda here. It's really important. I got involved with code of ethics training, and it is very clear that if you are a single agent, you have to let the opposing side know before you start negotiations. So we're going to talk about, and Legal Hotline didn't understand my question. It really pissed me off too. We're going to put all of our listings, because we are a single agent with consent to transition to transaction broker as our listing agreement. So we are single agents. So we're going to put the MLS on notice that we are single agents for our sellers, and that's going to tell them. But when you submit an offer, if you're a single agent for a buyer, you have to have a single agent notice signed. And then you have to tell the listing agent when you first speak with them that you're representing the buyer as a single agent. And then before the offer is presented, you have to give it to them in writing. So really, I want you to get your single agent notice signed along with the consent to transition to transaction broker, along with a transaction broker notice. Get all that done if you're going to represent a buyer as a single agent, and put it in your loop. And then share it with whoever you're making an offer with. That's the proper way to demonstrate your single agency capacity. And I think a lot of us are acting like single agents, and we really aren't single agents because we don't have the documentation signed. Now, why would I say you have to do the consent to transition to transaction broker as well as transaction broker notice too? Because if you don't do that, you can't show any of our listings, right? Or you'd have to go, your buyer would have to switch to a non-rep because we're already a single agent for the seller. So if you have more questions on that, watch the recap. It was put in there. Chris and I did it last Wednesday, which was right before Thanksgiving. Okay. Hold on. So what I want, props here. I got a Wizard article. I'll cover that with you real quickly. FarBar 6 is now in .loop. Had a situation. I was talking with Jeff and Russ last night, and he had a contract question. And the contract question was, if we're not ready for CFPB. And the question that I had was, which contract are we on? FarBar 6 is limited to 7 days now, where FarBar 5A or 5X was 10 days. So it made a difference knowing which contract we're on. So I just want you to be cognizant. A lot of other brokerages are not up to speed using the proper contracts. So make sure you know which contract you're dealing with. Respect the source. We're having this happen a lot, right? Because I watch the leads that come through, and I'll show you that on the next page. But when a lead comes through, say from Op City, and you decide you don't want it, well, remember, you didn't accept it. Century 21 Beggins accepted it. So we owe a referral fee to that client because you accepted them. Then if you refer it to somebody else because you don't want it anymore, you can't do that. You got to give it back to Op City and let them send it back out again. Same thing for any other source. So Ashley calls it respecting the source. So if you accept a referral from somebody and you decide you're not going to work it, give it back to the source and let them re-refer it. Because if you re-refer it, then you got to make sure that person knows that they owe a referral fee, that the company owes a referral fee on that lead. And if you're trying to get a referral fee too, that's double dipping. It's not going to work. There's just not enough money in it. Puma's example we talked about. D.R. Horton, we're sending these notes out to you, but they got a big grand opening next week in Dade City, which, you know, here it is, D.R. Horton, marketing their homes from the high 200s. Remember, it used to be the high 100s? Those days are gone. You're going to get further and further north or further and further east to get more affordable homes. It's just the way it's going to be. I got no new agents to welcome. I got a couple more things in my inbox. Oh, I'll send this out to you. It's too bloody boring to listen to because he's an economist and he acts like an economist. But there's a video here of Zillow's housing predictions, and it's actually very good information. It's just painful. It's 12 minutes long too, so I'm not going to play it for you, but I will forward it out. Recaps. That's it. Cool. Now, hide this, go here. Now, okay. People's leads are up. Why are leads up? Because somebody did social ad engine. Who was that? Amy McCormick ran a social ad engine. I got 33 leads off of it. So that's kind of cool. But other than that, 172 to 205, so they're up. That's the major reason they're up. But Ojo and Century 21 are by far the biggest lead source we have, just like last week. Reload's down a little bit this week. Op City's way up from last week. I think people just didn't shop on Realtor.com for Thanksgiving. Sign calls are identical because we have more inventory now. The Zillow Flex team's identical. And they're the difference. They're a social ad engine. So, all right, we got birthdays, only 3 this week. Lindsay Estes from Sarasota. Happy early birthday tomorrow. Same thing with Russ Miller tomorrow. And then we got Carlos Pereiro from Orlando on the 4th, which is going to be Saturday. So that's good. Now check out the anniversaries. This is fun. We do this every month, but Raquel Arredondo, 21 years. Raquel is one of those women who was a part-time real estate agent. She was a dental hygienist manager of a dental office. And she did real estate on the side and did quite a few deals year after year after year and started doing more and more and more. And then she actually retired and came full-time into real estate. So it's a 21-year career with Century 21 Vegas. Happy anniversary, Raquel. 20 years for Nancy Smart. Those are some of the legacy agents we have on our roster that just, they don't do as much anymore, but for 20 years, we're not getting rid of you. Ken Tison, we're on 15, 16 years, 17 years, Ken. Awesome and amazing. Jessica Decker, that's 15 years as a staff person. Looking forward to seeing you guys at Topgolf on the 10th. Ann Wilson, we're on 9 years now. Chris Kennedy, I can't believe it's been 7 years since you joined us. Diane Krikorian, this is six years now, along with Darby Pfeiffer 6 years ago. Mindy Smith, 5 years, with Steve Roll, 5 years. Steve Howard, 4 years ago. That seems like a long time. And then Sean Miller, 2018. Let's see, that's 3 years for Sean, for Carlin, for Len English, 3 years. 2-year anniversary for Yvonne Roca, Heather Rowland, Joseph Darby, and then a 1-year anniversary for, well, Ed is a recurring. So Ed Panis, though, I guess she came back to us. His wife is Shelley. Suli Brandio, Christina Sarame, Valerie Green, Jamie Hamilton, Lee Gregory, France Donatian. I don't know that one. Sorry, Trout, 1-year anniversary for you, along with Claire King. So that's it, guys. That's a nice little roster of celebrating years of service. So that's it. I have nothing else on my agenda for now. Anything to share for the greater good? Thomas, you want to talk about your needs for Centurion? Because it's really going to be close.
Yes, I'm pretty excited. We're at $2,240,000, pending another $100,000. So we need a total of $2,527,000 to hit Centurion. So we're right on the cusp of hitting Centurion, and having an office open for 4 years is pretty exciting.
A big deal.
Hey, Craig, let me add one thing for the Pinellas County side. On the 15th of December, we're culminating our toy drive, and it's going to be at the Saltwater Hippie Beach Bar and the Brass Captain here. Between now and then, we're going to start promoting it this week. We've got tons of restaurants, and local restaurants might be an interesting idea for some of you in different offices too. We went to all the different restaurant owners and made them collection sites. So we got U-Haul boxes and wrapped them up, and they're all part of it. So they're raising their toys. We collect. So we picked 3 charities: the Shepherd Village, Grace House, and Miracle by the Bay, and they're going to be the 3 recipients for all the toys and bikes for the kids. So we really engaged the whole community, went to different restaurants and had them be collection sites. And then we're going to bring everything together after the 15th. So that's going to be coming up. So you guys will see notices and Facebook events starting for that today. So that's what we're doing here along the beaches.
Nice.
Along those lines, in Hillsborough County, for the Toys for Tots drives, their deadline to have it over to the alley down here in Riverview is Saturday, December 4th. So we're doing a toy drive that morning. You can bring a toy, bike anytime you want to any of the offices, but we're going to have some classic cars, lowrider cars, like a car show out here Saturday morning from 9 until 12. You have to bring a toy if you want to come and intermingle and check out some of the cars. Unwrapped new toy. We prefer a bike. We're trying to get to at least 50 bikes this year. So come on out Saturday to the Apollo Beach office from 9 till 12. We'll have some classic cars and a toy drive. And at about 1 o'clock, we're heading over to the alley, loading everything up and bringing it over to them.
Mom, I don't know. She wrote, an MLS has an area where it says seller represented. And if it says yes, does it mean as a single agent? I'm trying to find out. The legal hotline is not the place to go for that. Louisa wrote, in Grant Cardone opened his most recent real estate investment to non-accredited investors. Florida residents just got approved yesterday. You can partner with him for as little as $1,000. It's a mid-rise community in Fort Lauderdale. with quarterly payouts. If you're interested in that type of stuff, Grant Cardone's a hoot to watch. And yeah, so you can invest. It's kind of like Tesla did with their SUV truck. You can reserve one for $100, right? But over 1 million people reserved one. So he's got $100 million sitting in a bank account in reserve, right? So Grant Cardone's doing the same thing, saying, hey, if I can get, 1,000 people to give me $1,000, I got $100,000. If I get 1 million people to give me $1,000, I got 10 million bucks, right? And that might be the equity he needs to buy the properties. And he's one of those guys that buys properties at cash flow really well. And it's not that you're going to get rich off of it, but you'll make a good return on your investment. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to educate yourself and watch. Grant Cardone's a pretty interesting cat. I think, Mike, you had asked me that question up here earlier too. What investment would you use that would equal or better than the rent you are collecting? Just more. Just have more rent. If you're making $1,000 on a house a month and you had 2 houses, you're making $2,000 a month. Or get into a duplex or an apartment house or something like that as you roll and grow. Because this market's just crazy right now. Cool. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. Please take some of the advices we passed out today and let's not just binge Netflix and shop on Amazon. Let's get out there and make the contacts for December so we have a good, stable pool of interest going into next year. All right. Thank you all.